Boopie's got a new one for you. Lights off. Here we go. I used to think that mirrors were just coated glass and silver backing. Simple physics. Light bouncing back to show you the truth of the physical world. I know better now. When I moved into the 4th floor walk-up on Elm Street, it was fully furnished. The rent was suspiciously cheap, but as a broke college student, I didn't ask questions. The only thing out of place was a massive Victorian-era floor mirror, bolted to the wall at the end of the narrow hallway. It was heavy, tarnished, and possessed a weird, subtle curvature that made the hallway look a little too long in its reflection. Taped to the top right corner of the frame was a faded, yellowed sticky note. The handwriting was frantic and jagged. Do not look into the glass at midnight. Keep your eyes on the floor. Naturally, I laughed it off. I assumed it was a prank left by the previous tenant to scare the new guy. For the first 3 weeks, I didn't even think about it. But then, the sleep paralysis started. It began subtly. I would wake up at odd hours, shivering, with the distinct feeling of being watched. When you live alone, your brain fills the silence with phantom noises. But this was different. The air in the apartment would grow thick, tasting metallic, like copper and ozone. I started noticing small discrepancies in the mirror during the day. A shirt I was wearing would look slightly darker in the reflection. The stack of books on my desk behind me would appear rearranged. My own face seemed tired, hollow. I convinced myself it was stress. That is, until a Tuesday night in late November. I was up late, cramming for a finals exam. I needed water, so I left my bedroom and walked down the hall toward the kitchen. To get there, you have to walk straight toward the mirror before taking a sharp left. As I approached the end of the hall, I checked my phone. The glowing green digits read 11:59 p.m. I remembered the sticky note. A cold prickle of irrational dread washed over me. But I forced a scoff. It's just glass. I stopped directly in front of the mirror, holding my phone, and stared at my reflection. The clock ticked over. 12 a.m. At first, nothing happened. I stood there, looking at my messy hair and tired eyes, feeling like an absolute idiot for letting a piece of paper scare me. I turned to walk into the kitchen. My reflection didn't turn with me. I froze. My heart slammed against my ribs so hard it ached. In the glass, I was still standing perfectly still, facing forward. But the eyes, they weren't mine anymore. They were entirely black, devoid of sclera or iris, reflecting a dim, sick yellowish light that wasn't coming from my hallway. The background in the mirror slowly began to shift. The reflection of my apartment faded, dissolving into a sprawling, endless room made of cracked concrete. In this room stood dozens of people. Some were facing away. Some were crying silently. And some were pressing their faces against the glass from their side. They were all waiting. My reflection smiled. It wasn't a human smile. The corners of its mouth stretched too far up its cheeks, tearing the skin at the edges. Slowly, it raised a hand and tapped a single, long gray fingernail against the inside of the mirror. Tap, tap, tap. The sound echoed perfectly in my silent apartment. Then it spoke. Its voice didn't come from the mirror. It came from directly behind my right ear. Tag, you're it. I didn't sleep in the apartment that night. I ran out the front door in my socks and didn't stop until I reached an all-night diner 3 miles away. I broke my lease the next morning. I sent a friend to pack up my things, explicitly telling him to keep his head down in the hallway and never look at the mirror. He thought I was crazy, but he did it. I am writing this because last night I got up to use the bathroom in my new place. I washed my hands, looked up into the medicine cabinet mirror, and froze. The bathroom behind me in the reflection was completely dark, even though the lights in my real bathroom were blazing. And standing just at the edge of that darkness, watching me, was a figure with a tearing smile. The glass isn't a mirror, it's a window. And if you look at them at the exact moment the day turns over, the moment the veil is the thinnest, you give them an anchor. If you ever find a note warning you about a mirror, believe it. If you happen to be walking past glass when the clock strikes 12, keep your eyes on the floor, because once they have your face, they just need your place. That's the one for tonight. Sleep well.